There is no bond stronger than brotherly love. But today, from the epicenter of beach volleyball, there'll be no brothers in arms. Taylor Crabb, a first-time AVP champion this summer in New York City, goes head-to-head against older brother Trevor, who's still hoping to taste victory for the first time. There could be no love lost on Stadium Court at the AVP Hermosa Beach Open. We are in the heartland of American beach volleyball, South Bay, Southern California. Today, a huge crowd assembling. No better place to be than the AVP Hermosa Beach Open. Hi again, everybody, and welcome. Along with Kevin Wong, I'm Chris Marler. Well, our men's championship final today will have some intrigue. Two major battles, the battle of the brothers, the battle of the ex-partners. Let's start with the brothers, Taylor Crab and Trevor Crab. There's going to be an edge here.
Yeah, this has been the matchup we've been looking for all year long. Shakespeare-type drama. The brothers, you couldn't have two more opposite personality types. You look at Taylor Crab, he's cool, he's calm, he's collected. He won his first championship a month ago. His brother, Trevor Crab, if there's going to be fireworks today, it's going to start with him. He's combustible, he's a trash talker, plays with emotions on his sleeve.
All right, what about the ex-partners? Well, Gibb and Rosenthal played together for 7.5 years through 2 Olympics. We think they're still friends, but today, well, we're not so sure.
And this is going to be a test, right? Because this is their home. This is where they practiced for those 7 years. This is where they got to the #1 ranking in the world. And they've been civil, they've been polite, but under this kind of pressure, this is where things start to break.
All right, it's a beautiful matchup. Gibb and Taylor Crab taking on Trevor Crab and Rosenthal. Now for the introduction of the players, let's go down to Mark Sherman. Mark.
Volleyball fans from across America, around the world, I cannot tell you how excited I am to be in my backyard, to be in everybody's backyard for the first time in 7 years in Hermosa Beach. America, welcome home! Yes! Oh my gosh! To happen in Hermosa Beach. We've been waiting for this final all year long, since the brothers split up to go after each other for first place. Ladies and gentlemen, first guy out of Honolulu, Hawaii, looking for his first AVP Tour victory. He calls the South Bay home. Let me hear some love. Give it up for Trevor Crab. And his partner, the living legend of beach volleyball, out of Redondo Beach, out of Redondo Union High School. He is back. He is better than ever. He's got his Raiders behind him, better than ever. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Superman. Rosenthal. But that's only half the story, ladies and gentlemen. These next two guys, coming in as the #2 seed in the tournament, they have been breezing, looking like the best team in America, one of the best teams in the world, and they're looking to keep it going in front of all of you. First up, the younger brother out of Honolulu, the player of the year out of Long Beach State, looking for win #2. Ladies, I know you love him. Let him know you love him right now. He is Taylor Crab. And Taylor's partner, formerly Rosenthal's partner. So we've been looking forward to this one as well. This guy has 27, count them, 27 wins on the AVP Tour. One of the best American players ever. He is a 3-time Olympian. He is the big, nasty Jake Spiker Gibb.
The atmosphere here in Hermosa Beach is electric. The last time two brothers met in an AVP championship match was June 16th, 1991 in Philadelphia, when St. John Smith defeated younger brother Andrew Smith.
Look at the Crabb brothers. You got two guys, couldn't be more different. Two guys, a blocker on the one side. You've got the best young defender in the world on the other side. You've got an undersized player on both sides. But get the feeling in social media throughout the week. You get the feeling in the players' tent. There are going to be fireworks here. Big time rivalry.
2010, the last time the AVP was here in Hermosa Beach. Phil Dahlhauser, Todd Rogers won it, defeating Johnny Mayer and Matt Prosser. So we are underway. First ball is dug. Sean Rosenthal hits it straight down. Now Rosenthal is a great story. He grew up right here in Hermosa Beach. He was tutored by his uncle Matt Gage, one of the greatest players of all time. They'd walk down to the beach, they'd learn how to pass, set, and hit. And Sean Rosenthal, a terrific player, still at the age of 36 years old. So the spinner goes to his former partner, Jake Gibb. And it's dug. Chance here, and Trevor, he puts it away.
You look at this match on paper, and everything says Taylor Crabb, Jake Gibb should win. They've got the better pieces, they got the bigger blocker in the front, maybe the younger, faster defender. But this is the kind of place, Hermosa Beach is the kind of place where you can start tapping into the magic that Crabb and Rosenthal are going to need to today.
Sunny, a little bit of wind. The sand is very soft. Some of the greatest sand in California, as Taylor Crabb taps it over and then gives the stink eye to his brother, Trevor.
It wasn't such a subtle stink eye either, right? A little bit of a stare down early in this match, and he's supposed to be the composed of the Crabb brothers.
Taylor with the serve. He serves his brother. And Trevor blasts it. Trevor Crab, 27 years old, born in Honolulu, now living in Redondo Beach. Once again, never won on the AVP Tour. Had 3 seconds, 4/3 last season with his brother. So he's trying to find that momentum and finally get into the winner's circle. Here comes Taylor. And Taylor pounds it down.
Pretty interesting early on. They're going to Taylor Crabb, and he's got such variety on his offense, but this is something they did similarly in the previous matchup in the winners semifinals. You get the idea, Trevor really feels like he knows his brother.
Now serve to Rosenthal. Trevor, a great setter, and Rosenthal taps it, and it drops. So Gibb peeling off the net, thought Taylor was going to be there. He couldn't get there, and now Rosenthal will have it. Rosenthal has not won a tournament since the AVP Manhattan Beach Open back in 2014 when he was teaming with Phil Dahlhauser. Spinner. Jake Gibb reaching high. Trevor's got it. Rosenthal peeling, socks it over. Now Taylor Crabb, who can sky, floats it. Rosenthal's got it. Big play here. Rosenthal, down the line he goes. Okay, it is time to welcome in the third member of our broadcast crew. It is Dane Blanton. Hello, Dane.
Thanks a lot, Chris. You know, the biggest rivalry on this tour is between the two brothers, as you guys have said, Taylor and Trevor. It's gotten heated up over the last week on social media, if you can believe it. Trevor Crabb kind of instigating things on Instagram, saying, unfortunately, a water gun is the only thing that the little guy can bring to the fight. And what did Taylor shoot back? He said, well, all I need to bring against you, big brother, and my one victory, referring to that win just a few weeks ago in New York. You know, Taylor has the edge, but Trevor says if he can win here in front of the home crowd against Rosie, it would be against, against Jake and his little brother, this would be sweeter and he would have the upper hand.
Taylor Crabb with Jake Gibb in the black trunks. In the blue multicoloreds are Rosenthal and Crabb. The Crabb parents are here today, Chris Crabb and Paula, and I'm guessing, we'll show you them very, very shortly. I'm guessing that they are secretly pulling for Trevor Crabb to win his first tournament. They wouldn't say that, but I will.
You're right, You want to even the accounts a little bit there. The interesting thing, talking before before the match to Paula, she said she hoped for a good match, a 3-set battle. Chris Crabb had the more poignant phrase. He said, I just want to see good sportsmanship on both sides.
Yeah, hey, I don't want to see a fist fight. You mentioned that Trevor Crab is the more volatile of the two. Now, Jake Gibb, one of the all-time greats for the United States, born in Bountiful, Utah. And Crab hits it straight down. Now, Trevor Crab, a former basketball player, grew up playing dual sports, actually went to college on a basketball scholarship.
University of Puget Sound. Yeah, he was like the rebel in the family, right? This is a very volleyball-centered family. He's the guy who went out, played basketball, but has refound his love.
7-4 early. First set here at Hermosa. Jake Gibb stretching out. Trevor's got it. Here he comes. And there it goes. So relatively easy dig for Taylor Crab. He could not bring it up. And if you're looking for the upset, Rosenthal and Crab, they're off to a good start.
Yeah, and they got to win this first set. And one of the key characters we really haven't talked about too much yet, Rosie's Raiders, right? This is a group that brings a lot of energy. They're in the corner right behind Rosie right there. And if this lead starts to grow, this can be a very big factor in the match.
So very enthusiastic. Some call them crazy fans that follow Rosie around. As Gibb over the top, and was there a touch?
Oh, big touch. Big touch.
They didn't see it. Oh, and Gibb is high.
Losing it. Rosie acting like he should, right? You walk away, put your poker face on.
John King is our up referee. Rick Olmstead is down. The linesman originally called the touch, but John King overruled it.
Big touch. And this is the reason why you can't serve Jake so much, unless you put him in trouble, because his ability to elevate. Watch how high he hits right off the top. You're going to see that misdirection. It skips right off the top of the hands.
Here we go. This is going to be reversed because the linesman is coming over, and he had originally signaled there was a touch. This should be the protocol on any kind of touch violation.
Oh, wow. No reversal.
Whoa.
And they've got the big screen on the far end, right? This is a good one.
Well, Jake Gibb is usually mild-mannered. That's about as hot as he gets. Thought he had the touch. Instead, he's facing a 9-4 deficit. Now, Rosenthal, they're going to stay with Gibb for a while. Pretty good set. And over the top. And that's what you worry about if Gibb gets the perfect pass. He's too tall at the net.
You know, I would go as far to say on an average play, every single time, he hits at a higher contact point than anyone else does in the world. He has such good form. He's got really good extension, and he jumps really high.
Both these teams comprised of former teammates. The Crabs were partnered for 12 AVP events. Gibb and Rosenthal teamed for 62 AVP events. And a couple of Olympic Games, 2008, 2012, where they got 5th both times.
And don't forget, the Crabb brothers were the #1 team of 2016. Really consistent. They just didn't break through with the championship.
A serve over to Taylor. And Taylor rockets cross court, and he gets the line. Now, Taylor, he is listed at 6 feet, 165. But he has some springs. When I talked to him about his jumping ability, he told me he reaches 7'11", but at a USA camp, he touched 11'4". That is 40 inches, my friends. Pretty good.
And just the best arm swing on the beach.
Got a cannon for an arm. Now Gibb will serve it. First set, best 2 out of 3. And on 2, wow, Rosenthal and Crab playing with great confidence right now.
And especially Trev, you know, you look at the stats, I was astounded. He's the #3 hitter on the weekend. He's one of the top blockers. He's been getting a lot of digs. They've been split blocking throughout the weekend as well. I asked him, is this the best you've been playing? He says, I feel confident. I'm ready.
So now, Sean Rosenthal, 23 career wins, spins it down the line to Jake. Gibb over the top, and there it is again, going right over the top of the block. Could Trevor Crab jump later and jump higher?
You know, you're just talking about someone who's given up inches on the jump as well as the arm swing, and when you put him on the net like that, really hard to stop unless you're a Phil Dahlhauser, unless you're Ryan Doherty. Drove me crazy throughout the latter part of my career.
11-7, Taylor with a nice dig. Taylor, off speed, yes.
And that's the total difference, right? With Jake Gibb, you kind of know what to expect. With Taylor Crab, you have no idea. He uses the whole court. He has different speeds. He goes short, deep, left, and right.
Really hard to read.
I asked Taylor Crab about his relationship with his brother. He said, I said, is it good? He goes, quote, not very good, unquote. He's very soft-spoken, quiet, but fiery. And cross-court, Trevor Crab pounds it through.
Yeah, both very competitive, right? And just showing it in very different directions. You talked about how quiet, very focused is Taylor Crab. Trevor been getting it going. He's been doing a lot of stare downs through the net. And like I said, he said, I feel unstoppable this weekend.
12-8 our score. Now Jake Gibb got to get another set near the net. He does, and it's off Rosenthal out of bounds. So a timeout on the sand. Hermosa Beach, a happening this week. Yes, fans are jammed in, and why not? AVP Hermosa Beach Open. Our men's championship final will continue. The 2017 Hermosa Beach Open is brought to you by Truly Spiked and Sparkling. As refreshing as sparkling water, but with 5% alcohol. Only 100 calories and a hint of fruit. Truly refreshing. And by Kona Deep, the first ever deep ocean water from Hawaii.
That's good. Next one, closing. Sit in that chair. Sit on your back.
The 2017 Hermosa Beach Open is brought to you by Truly Spiked and Sparkling. As refreshing as sparkling water, but with 5% alcohol. Only 100 calories and a hint of fruit. Truly refreshing. And by Kona Deep, the first ever deep ocean water from Hawaii. Glad to be back in Hermosa Beach, California. I'm Chris Marlowe with Kevin Wong and Dane Blanton. Karch Karai won Hermosa 6 times. St. John Smith and Phil Dahlhauser won 5 times each. Kevin Wong and I won a combined total of 2. I got mine in 1977. Kevin Wong won his tournament in 1994 with Eric Fenoy Moana. What do you remember about that tournament?
I remember the big oversized check, $20,000 on it, walking up Pier Avenue and having everyone kind of pat me on the back as I went up, walking with my father. That's one of the great highlights of my career.
My experience was not similar. I walked up Pier Avenue. My dad was not there. I did not have a check for $20,000, and I was headed to the pub. All right, here we go. Taylor Crab popping it up. Can he go 40 here? And he hits it straight down. Now, Taylor Crab, one of the great up-and-comers for the United States, won his first AVP tournament in New York back in June with Jake Gibb.
Yeah, and in that match, it was really Jake who took the charge, right? He had the big serves. He had a number of blocks in that first set. Hasn't been able to be that factor here yet. See if Taylor Crab can be the guy who steps up.
12-10 on the run as Rosenthal. Gibb has it easily. Gibb stretching inside the block. Doug. Taylor goes and gets it. Spins it, and should be an easy play for Rosenthal. Nobody up. Doug. Taylor Crab patrolling like a sand panther. Rosenthal digs back, and the poke is out of bounds.
Amazing rally.
Whoa.
Both sides, incredible digs. You got the feeling that Rosenthal Crab had a couple of chances to win that point. Now going to be really interesting. How quickly can they regroup? This is timeout time, right? They just came out of the break. They gave up 2 straight points in spectacular fashion. If there's one weakness for this team, it's the volatility. It's the up and down factor, the unforced errors.
5-1 scoring run for the white-hatted Jake Gibb and his partner Taylor Crab. Bad pass, scooped out, and a free ball coming. Jake Gibb is going to try one on the left side. And he puts another one away, so we're tied up. So after a promising early start for Rosenthal and Trevor Crab, they have gone flat here, giving up 6 out of the last 7.
Yeah, you just see the demeanor, right? Jake Gibb's such a professional. On the other side, they're thinking about shoulda, coulda, woulda. 3 points ago. Refocus, reset, call a timeout.
The second of 3 consecutive events in California. A couple of weeks ago, San Francisco. Here in Hermosa, and upcoming is Manhattan. Rosenthal off speed, and it's out of bounds. So Rosenthal and Crab, they're going to switch it. They take the timeout now. You think that timeout was too late?
2 points too late, right? You think about so many times as an athlete, you want to be tough. You want to show resilience. You don't want to feel like you're giving up on a play, but you get a little older, you get a little wiser, you got to start feeling the ebb and the flow of momentum.
All right, you can get social with the AVP. AVP is on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Follow AVP Beach for exciting beach volleyball action and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Well, one of the great things about this 2017 edition of Hermosa Beach, Kevin, is AVP First. And this is something that has blossomed here on the beach, and it is an extravaganza for the kids.
What a spectacular setting we had this weekend. This is the championships, right? And this is teams from all over the country, including from my Spike and Serve program in Hawaii. We had boys divisions, 12 through 18. There was girls divisions as well. The Hain brothers won on center court against my old partner's son, Rob Hyger. You know, you just start seeing these second and third generation of players, guys who played on the AVP. Now the next step, you've got Olympians like Tom Hain, who has his grandkids playing in the championships.
Mark Hain, the dad, who played at San Diego State, a terrific indoor player. You see part of the crowd here in Hermosa Beach. Interestingly, the first tournament played here was won by Henry Bergman and Ron Von Hagen, a couple of legendary names. Von Hagen won the first 4 with 3 different partners, Henry Bergman, Greg Lee, and Tom Shamalis. So digging out the record book.
The almanac.
All right, let's check in with Dane Blanton. Dane.
Well, guys, I heard you guys talking about Hermosa and on BVB Info. It reminded me my 20th anniversary of winning this, my first event in the history of my career with Canyon Seaman. And it's the jitters, and I'll tell you what, the Raiders weren't around, but the Rosie's Raiders, if you have those guys behind you like Sean Rosenthal does, it's worth at least, I think, 10 victories over the career.
I remember calling Dane's win here at Hermosa with Canyon Seaman. What a spectacular final that was. A couple of guys that went on to make good. Now, Sean Rosenthal will serve it. Once again, Rosenthal, 36 years old. And here comes Jake Gibb, who's 41, and over the top he goes. Jake, of course, the 3-time USA Olympian and a 2-time cancer survivor. So he has battled.
And these are the shots that broke up one of my favorite partnerships of all time. I was playing with Matt Olson, a great guy, great volleyball player, but we had no block to match that kind of offense. 17 times we lost in 1 year to him.
How'd you beat him?
Got a guy with a bigger serve. Casey Patterson the next year.
And Taylor dumps it down. They're going to claim here open hand contact, and I think Trevor Crab may have a good argument. If you go to joust with the open hand and there's no block, that is a lift or throw. You're not allowed to go open hand.
And on the tight set, a lot of times players will go up to joust with an open hand, take a look, and at the last minute, Trevor drops his hand. Oh, that's a throw, big throw, and you hear the Raiders on the far sideline with their hands up.
Raiders going ape in the corner. And
Taylor was
been
expecting a push
yep.
and expecting the block, and this could be a moment, another chance. We got to see the combustibility. This is a set that Rosenthal, Crabb were in control of.
Had it for a moment. It's 15-13, and Trevor bounces it down the line. I mentioned that Trevor played basketball. I asked him one time, well, who do you consider yourself like? He says, well, consider me a poor man's Kawhi Leonard. I said, real poor man, like on Poverty Row. Now, Trevor, his team down by 1. They're working on Gibb. Picked it up. Over to Taylor. And Taylor, who was a gifted outside hitter indoor, he was actually the AVCA Men's National Player of the Year at Long Beach State. And a great outside hitter.
And a lot of people didn't give him a scholarship coming out of college, right? He's 6 feet, he's too short, and then you kind of see the progression. What he's got is different gears. He's able to really accelerate it in his arm swing. We talked about at the beginning. So smooth, so sweet, can really hit all the shots.
Now Gibb serving. Over to Trevor. Rosenthal's got nice hands. And cutting inside is Trevor. Could you serve Jake Gibb short and take away some of his approach so he can't hit over the top?
No, the guy's so blue collar. He just works so hard. He gets off the net. That would have worked against me and you, right?
I'm trying to give you a little strategy here so you could think about it a little bit.
You got to bomb. You got to send him deep. You got to take away some of his angles at the net.
Okay, take a rip. Let's see Rosenthal. Taylor Crab gets a perfect set off speed. And the one thing, well, there's more than one thing, but Taylor Crab, when you ask Jake Gibb about Taylor Crab, he says he's skilled, he's crafty, he has great touch, but he can unleash the physical on you when you're not looking.
That extra gear, right? He's got an extra gear that he saves for special moments.
Crab, dug by Crab. Try it again. Crab. Dug by Crab. Try it again. Crab hits it out of bounds. And Taylor lets loose with a primordial scream.
I don't know if this is a thing outside of Hawaii, but in Hawaii, there's the bucket of crabs, right? And all the crabs are trying to get out of the bucket, and they're all climbing on each other's back. And on this play, Taylor Crab definitely shoving Trevor back in the bucket with the great defensive plays.
18-15. And that floats out of bounds. Well, lucky break for Rosenthal and Crab. These two teams have only faced off once. It was earlier in the tournament. Jake Gibb and Taylor Crab winning in 2 sets, 21-19, 21-16.
There's the big serve. This is a little different.
It's off a little bit, and Gibb thunders it through. You might remember Jake Gibb had been playing with Casey Patterson, went to the Olympics with Casey Patterson. I asked Jake, well, how come you switched partners? He said, well, Casey Patterson moved to Thousand Oaks.
I don't buy it for a second.
That's what he said.
Hey, you know,
moved to Thousand Oaks.
Well, last week we talked about Toledo and Larissa, how they're living in separate cities in Brazil, 4 hours away from each other, and they're making it work. You know, Jake's very political. He's very...
what are you saying?
I'm saying it was time for him to move on.
From Casey Patterson. Okay, that's Kevin Wong. Go after him on Twitter. Off speed, cut shot, beautiful up by Rosenthal. And the put away by Gibb. No, Jake Gibb and Taylor Crab, after a slow start, they have been sensational.
Just steady, don't make mistakes, they take care of the ball, they put themselves in good situations, and really key that Crab Rosenthal get a little momentum here towards the latter part of the set.
Now the first set point is coming up. Rosenthal gonna brush a little sand off, take his time. Now Jake Gibb will toe the rubber. three-time AVP Most Valuable Player in the past. Spin it over to Trevor. Take a high set in the middle, and Taylor's got it. This could be it on the first set. And slashing it cross court, Taylor Crab. Now Taylor, the younger of the two brothers, he draws first blood with his partner Jake Gibb. They got behind 11-6 at one point, but rallied to catch up, and a 5-1 scoring run to end it. A little motion coming out. The brothers, the ex-partners, will have more from Hermosa after this.
Kevin. Oh, hey, Kevin. So I might go over to the Raiders, and so once I'm over there, we can kind of get into that, and you can tag on it.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Billy, does that work for you? A shot going over in the middle of the Raiders and getting a little something in the second set from Rosie's Raiders?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Hey, Dane, ask him if they think the refs are hosing them down.
And Billy, you know where they are in that corner. Yeah.
Now we feel this is where it gets juicy. Oh, just savor it. Just savor it, Hermosa. Like a filet mignon with olives, juices, medium rare, borderline rare. Just so much going on in there, yes. Oh, it's so good to can't even make noise. It's so good that we're absolutely silent when it comes to us. Slowly, despacito, there it is. Coming down the right, so slow that right when we get to the end, it actually stops. We stop in midair, and we reverse it. Now we come the other way. It reverses, it comes back, yes, coming back, we keep it slow, but coming back, yes, you found it. You picked it up, there it is. You picked it up, and now it picks up speed. It slowly starts shrinking again. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, go. Quicker, faster, better, playing to BS. Do what talk about it, I want to see it loud and proud. No.
Hermosa Beach, California is rocking today. And of course, you might remember old Hermosa Beach. And back in the day when beach volleyball was coming alive, and what a scene it was. And it is certainly a scene today. All right, we have a moment. Let's check in with Dane Blanton.
Jake Gibb, Taylor Crab, nice comeback right there. What was the difference? In the middle of that set, you turned it on there, you erased the deficit and got the win.
Yeah, good coaching. We came into our 12-9 timeout with Coach Marcio, and he gave us a few really important cues. And one helped Taylor pick up that line shot, and that got us rolling.
You gonna give us any of those clues?
No, I can't. You know how that goes.
All right. And Taylor, it seems like a lot more even on this now, the rivalry with your brother, the Instagram post. There's a little extra fire out there. Is that the case?
Yeah, well, it's the finals now, so it really matters. But we're focused on ourselves. I'm focused on getting our second win as a team. That's most important to me right now.
All right, you guys, good luck in the second set. Chris?
Taylor and Gibb trailed 11-6, then scored 15 of the last 20 points in the match, including 5 of the last 6. Kevin, what do Trevor Crab and Rosenthal do now?
Trevor's got to stir it up. He's got to stir the pot. He's got to start getting the crowd involved. You know, on paper, we talked about overmatched. This is a very good team, not just here in the U.S., but in the world. And I think you got to, when you recognize that, you start pushing all the buttons. There's a lot of buttons to push out here.
By the way, we have a quick moment. Want to congratulate Ryan Doherty and John Hayden who this weekend there's a competing tournament in Olsztyn, Poland. Doherty and Hayden finishing with the silver. They lost in the final to Flugen and Backerman, an upcoming German team, but a tremendous finish for Doherty and Hayden, who've been playing well all year.
5th place as well for Dahlhauser Lucena. Everyone really looking to gear up, of course, for the World Championships next weekend.
Dahlhauser, by the way, is the 5-time defending champion here in Hermosa Beach, all with Todd Rogers. So we start the second set, and a nice back set by Rosenthal, and Trevor Crab puts it away. Now Sean Rosenthal started here as a youngster, as we mentioned, under the watchful eye of his uncle Matt Gage. Cross courts it. And a rejection there. First big time roof for Trevor Crab on his bro.
And it looks like this is early in the second set, but it looks like they're switching targets, going away from the Jake Gibb. This is what we've been talking about. Taylor Crab is a great player. He's got a great future ahead of him. He's only won 1 championship before.
They're going to work on Taylor now. He's going to get a bunch of the serve. Low set there and off the block, out of bounds.
Talk about the Rosie Raiders. You talk about this being a great beach. 8th Street is where he grew up. This is for a guy who didn't really have a great family life and a great home. He found the Raiders. He found father figures. He really found his home here on the beach.
Didn't play high school volleyball. Didn't play college volleyball. Talking about Rosenthal. Come with the back set. Little shooty. Doug Taylor. Now Rosenthal going to try it again. And he flew it out of bounds. So just a mishit there. Kind of like Jordan Smith off the tee a little bit earlier today.
And like Smith, though, you got to reset, right? You got to reset. Exactly. You got to start regrouping and battle through. And once again, unforced error. How does that trickle? Does it snowball here?
2-2 is our score. And tapping it down the line, Trevor with the air.
If this team could just have a shorter memory, if they could just blank the slate after a mistake, this is what happens. And this is great from Rosenthal. He's going over, he's getting a little sunglasses wiped on the end line. He's kicking some sand around. This is some of the veteran play. You don't want to burn timeouts this soon.
Jake Gibb. Rosenthal. And Rosenthal. Boy, you could see him on approach there. I'm not going to shoot this. I'm not going to cut it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to blast it.
And over the course of this summer, we've really seen the re-emergence of Sean Rosenthal. You talked about 3 years, an eternity for a guy at this level to not win a championship.
Trevor down the line. Here comes Taylor. And the touch is there. Let's check in with Dane Blanton.
Here with Lance Smith. I know you and your brother kind of created this child, the Rosie's Raiders. Tell me about it.
In 2002, we came up with this idea about somewhere between the Swashbucklers and the Oakland Raiders, and to represent Sean. And Sean's got through many partners, and we've had many people help us out too, like with Chris Carey over here. And we're very dedicated to Sean.
What I was saying is, if I had this group fired up behind me the whole time, I might have won 10 more times. Is it true?
In Hermosa Beach, well, they stopped it a few years ago, 7 years ago, I believe. But yes, we're back of Sheldon all the time, religiously. Yes, he hasn't won Hermosa yet. Yeah, he's placed 5th, I think, or below. So this is like our calling right now, and it's so close right now. The last game we should have had it. They dropped out a few points. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. What? 1, 2.
This guy's doing
We're right in the middle of the point here, guys.
Wow, he's taking over here.
Oh, sorry. Well, that's it, yes.
Lance, I appreciate it. And and Rosie, they're feeling it down here, you guys. Having a good time. Let's go back up to the booth, Chris and Kevin.
You're rocking, dude. We all love you.
Well, Dane, I think my play-by-play job is safe, but Kevin, the analyst job might be open for one of the Rosie's Raiders.
And it was actually Lance's brother, Dale Smith, who, when he was 36, Sean Rosenthal was 16. They qualified for Sean's first AVP, and at that time, the record that stood for a long time. 16-year-old qualifying for the AVP.
Socked up, and that's going to be out of bounds.
And of course, the bookend to the record story, that record falling this weekend. The Partain brothers, Marcus, who's 17 years old, Miles, who's 15, they shocked the world. Qualifying here, actually got a win in the main draw as well.
Yeah, finished 17th. Some of the other finishers, Avery Drost, Chase Fishman, Peter Marciniak, and Roberto Rodriguez.
And Trevor Crab bombing the jump serve. He's sending Sean Rosenthal up to the net to block. This is what I'm talking about. You got to mix it up. It might not make sense on paper necessarily, but this is something that you got to do a little differently. Good win in his face.
6-5. Trevor. Off speed. Tight to the net. And Gibb socking it up high.
And when you're on defense behind against a Jake Gibb, you got to just be expecting high off the hands, right? So you shouldn't be dug in. You shouldn't be guessing too much. You should be in a real relaxed, loose mood.
So now Taylor Crab moves up. A lot of wind up high, but not so much on the stadium court. Rosenthal, and he thunders it through. Sean Rosenthal on the AVP Tour this year, no wins yet. They've got 2 seconds, a third, and a fifth. On the FIVB Tour, 5 events. They have a fifth, a 17th, and a country quota. Good serve, better pass. Off speed down the line, and the score! Incredible!
Tough serve, starts it off, gets him in trouble. And then there it is. Wow, that is amazing. I don't think I've ever seen that play. Running fully, speed in one direction, turns around, and a scorpion dig over the net.
Universal's Volcano Bay, now open, is an all-new water theme park where thrills and relaxation flow in perfect harmony. It's a tropical paradise just steps away from everything Universal Orlando Resort has to offer. One of the greatest defensive plays you have ever seen by Sean Rosenthal and Trevor Crab. And the off speed, a spiking error for the 25-year-old Crab.
And a bit of a reversal from the first set, right? All of a sudden, you're starting to see the wheel slip off on the Crab Gibb side. And I think a big part of that, they're putting pressure on the younger partner, Taylor Crab.
3 straight points for Rosenthal and Crab. And Trevor off speed, pops it up, and he puts it away. Now Taylor tried to droop it, and Trevor was ready for it.
You know, you look at Jake Gibb's career, he's just out-grinded through the ranks, 34 championships total. And then you contrast that against Taylor, right? He's gonna feel more nerves, and especially in this kind of situation with the Raiders, with all the energy.
So a timeout on the sand. It is 10-6. Well, it's been a season of firsts, Kevin Wong, for a number of players on the AVP Tour this year. And there's something about getting your first win, which is euphoric.
And it's been so special to document this. There's Taylor Crab in the New York Championships. They came out and just looked so confident. Jake Gibb really setting a tone, but Taylor Crab bringing it home in the second set. And then right after that, Billy Allen on the left. Stafford Slick, a lot of people thought Stafford Slick would never get to the championship round, and the big guy from Minnesota really elevating his game in 2017, a number of finals. And then this is the one that surprised everyone. Ty Loomis hadn't won a championship in 7 years. Madison McKibben had never done better than a fifth. And you know what?
The best celebration on the bench.
They had the best celebration.
An incredible celebration for them. So once again, to set the stage for you, Trevor Crab has never won on the AVP Tour yet. And his partner Sean Rosenthal hasn't won since 2014. Gibb and the other Crab won in New York a little bit earlier It's a 4-0 run by Crabb and Rosenthal after 5 ties to start the set.
Good timeout from Crabb, Gibb, right? They took the timeout at the right time there.
Want to duck in a couple other finishers. Jeremy Casebeer, John Mayer get 5th, along with Tim Baumgren, who's now playing with Kurt Topple. Billy Allen Stafford Slick still playing with the abdominal injury. And Ed Ratledge and Eric Zahn continue to play well.
And then some of the young guys, right? The young contingent, Marciniak and Rodriguez in at 3rd, as well as Frischman and Drost.
Set number 2 here in Hermosa Beach. Gibb and Taylor Crab won the first set, 21-16. This is set number 2. And bouncing it down the line. There was a play yesterday. We don't have it for you, but you can go on Twitter and look it up, where Taylor Crab hit one that bounced 30 feet in the air. And I asked their coach, Marcio Saccola, have you ever seen a hit bounce like that inside a match? He said no. It bounces out of the frame on AVP live streaming. It bounced above the camera angle. And you can see it. Go to my Twitter feed. I got it on there.
Oh, and he hit just the right divot, right? The way the sand kind of will form little pockets. If you hit that little ramp on the right side, you can get that thing to bounce straight up and down. The crazy thing, the last play was a half swing. He bounced it into the upper deck.
Well, that was one thing that Marcio was raving about that hit, as Gibb serves, and he's got the ace. He said to do that inside a match with a blocker up and the set tight and then explode one is pretty incredible.
And here it is, Jake Gibb once again taking the reins. This is something that he's really made a trademark throughout this 2017 season, making the big plays at the big time.
Jake Gibb, the youngest of 11 children. He has 5 brothers and 5 sisters. Over the top, into the corner, and Taylor's got it. Who sets bad. Off speed, no. That's 4 contacts.
And you know, that might not look like a good shot from Trevor Crab, but I think the difference is it's not an unforced error, right? All of a sudden you're putting the ball on the other side, you're making them pass, set, and hit, and you're putting more pressure on Taylor Crab. I think that is the solution that we've seen here in the second set.
That stops a 3-0 run for Taylor and Gibb. Now Rosenthal and Gibb make it Rosenthal and Crab talking it over down the line. Off speed into the corner. Did you know when you saw Taylor Crab at a young age that he was going to be this outstanding?
No. I think it was when he made the progression at Long Beach State, when he went into his junior and senior year and he was the player of the year, right? Everyone his whole life had counted him out because he's only 6 feet tall. They said, hey, maybe you should think about playing libero. This guy took more swings than anyone his senior year with a lot of success.
All right, a timeout on the sand. We are coming back to rocking Hermosa Beach in the midst of our men's championship final. It's about the brothers today.
Growing up, we'd always fight. I think it was harder on my parents, the switch, than it was for us. Just kind of got sick of each other a little bit towards the end of the season. We're both happy with Growing up, we'd always fight. I think it was harder on my parents, the switch, than it was for us. Just got sick of each other a little bit towards the end of the season. We're both happy with what we've accomplished and where we're going right now.
Kevin, I know you had a brother. You have a brother, and I have a brother. My relationship with my brother, I love him, but I don't like him. How about you and your brother?
I love and like my brother. But you get the feeling, right? And you know, talking to
I think
Chris,
that's true. What I have with my brother, I think that's what they have.
For sure. Yeah. And you take a look at the numbers so far. Taylor Crab hitting a lot higher percentage. The blocks, the aces, the defensive side better for Trevor. But got to start tapping into that crowd and getting them for those extra points that Dane was talking about. You know, you feel about Chris and Paula, and all weekend long they've been hoping for this match, right? They've been hoping that their two boys would meet in the finals, and then I got to see them right before the match, and then all of a sudden you see this pause because, oh no, right? There's going to be drama. One of them's going to beat up on the other.
11-10 our score. Trevor Crab and Sean Rosenthal on one side in the blue trunks, Jake Gibb and Taylor Crab on the other side. Ex-partners, brothers, we've got it all today in our Hermosa Beach final. Sean Rosenthal to tee it up. 2-point lead here. Cross-court bomb. Taylor has it easily. Taylor goes and gets it. Boy, he can scamper, can he? Off speed, Rosenthal, no! Coming back, backtracking was Trevor, and they couldn't get it.
Yeah, you know what? Sean Rosenthal doing such a good job digging the hard driven throughout the day, but these off-speed shots, he really hasn't had a good beat. I can't remember many plays at all where he's been able to scramble. Maybe that one scorpion crazy dig, but beyond that, every shot's been going down.
I like that, scorpion crazy. Now Jake Gibb will put the ball in play. Rosenthal playing deep on serve receive. He's got it. Against his old partner, he's blocked and down. So Jake Gibb, that has been his calling card since 2001. The 6th tie, but the first since 6-6. A couple of runs by both teams.
How do you get easy points? How do you claw your way back? We saw the ace down the line on the prior side and now getting blocks on the bad side.
12-12 in the second set. Men's championship final. Getting a lot of Rosenthal now. Rosie tapping. Jake turns, pokes. Big play here. Trevor Crab, gotta have it. And he gets it. So Trevor Crab rocks the Casbah down the line.
And right now, if I was Trevor and I'm going back, he just dug this shot from Jake. He's doing a pretty good job of digging throughout the weekend. He's actually got a higher digging percentage than Sean Rosenthal. I would have Rosie go up to the net to block right now.
And Rosenthal, being the ex-partner for 7 years, he might have some things he could do against Jake. Instead, they serve Taylor. Off the top. And down. So Trevor wins that brotherly battle at the net.
Running the quick shoot to the outside. Trevor does a great job. He's got some of that basketball close on the outside. If you hit it in his zone, if you're not Jake Gibb where you can go right over the top, you've got a chance if you're Trevor Crab. He makes really good reads.
14-12. Back to Taylor. Off speed, Rosenthal there for a 3-point lead. He's got it.
And just when I go and count him out, right? I say he hasn't dug any shots. There he is. He waits for the perfect moment. Taylor's got great vision, but he doesn't see that late move. And then this Cuddy always had the knack for the spectacular.
Is there a good side, bad side now here at Hermosa?
Trevor's serving from it right now.
In the good side.
Yep.
A little bit wind in his face. Let's see if he can spin one. 15-12. Now we're going to float that one. And Taylor down the line. Olympic gold medalist Phil Dahlhauser headlines a star-studded field in Vienna, Austria. The FIVB Beach Volleyball World Championships, Monday, July 31st on NBC SN. Kevin, you and I will be calling the World Championships from Vienna. Extensive coverage, 10 days of coverage. Pool play, men and women.
On all the NBC stations, right? We're doing the brand new Olympic channel, NBCSN, as well as the mothership.
Tune in for that. Rosenthal, cut! Taylor's got it. And he puts it away.
And you just see the heads hanging, right? And you see the dismay from Crabb and Rosenthal. You got to be okay with giving up a point. If a guy on the other side makes an amazing play, you got to be able to regroup, reset. Shouldn't see these kind of peaks and valleys.
(15-14). Rosenthal goes and gets it. Down the line, he's got it right into the corner. Hey, a reminder, coming up after this telecast, you can see the AVP Women's Championship Final from Hermosa Beach on avp.com/live. I'm going to tune in for that.
Tri-born
on the call. And, whoa, wrist away.
Taylor Crabb's body was facing towards us. His shoulder did something that I haven't seen since Karch, right? That's the Karch inside out hard angle. Amazing.
Cut shot is beautiful. Well, the Raiders pick it up a little bit. It will be 17-15. I mentioned that Karch, a 6-time winner here. That's the most of all time. St. John with 5, Dahlhauser with 5. I want to add Randy Stoklos to that mix. Stoklos won 5 here for Randy Stoklos, St. John Smith. The winningest team of all time with 114 as Taylor bounces it down the line. Can you compare Taylor to anybody that's played prior?
You know, maybe Louis, same kind of smaller build, a big jumper with a live arm, but I think what Taylor has, that he's got the demeanor, he's got the Hawaiian chill.
Is that good or bad?
Great, right? Louis was a little bit of a hothead.
Scooping over to Trevor, blocked. Chance here, oh, it's tight. And Rosenthal taps it over Gibb. I think Gibb stumbled a bit in the sand or got stuck in no man's land, but he's at the net, and Rosenthal with an easy poke here. I think it's a little stumble here by Jake. He just doesn't get up.
Beautiful knuckle pokey, made famous by Stein Metzger, now coaching the UCLA women's sand volleyball team.
18-16, Rosenthal. Crabb trying to get there. Here comes Gibb. Blocked, chance here. Trevor pokes it again, and scores! Trevor Crab up in his game.
And up in his block, right? That was the first time he went mano a mano, neck and neck at the net. He makes a soft block and then delivers with the follow through.
Any chance Jake Gibb could be tiring just a bit, so maybe Crabb is up there with him now?
That's the first time we saw him hit in the lower atmosphere where Trevor could get a hand on it.
You say always go for the branches of the tree. Stay away from the trunk. Let's see if they go back to Gibb. They do. Bad pass, trouble, and the tap down is good. So the effective serving, which you suggested, has paid a dividend, and now the first set point is coming up for Sean Rosenthal and Trevor Crab. 20-16 our score. Rosenthal, nice pass. Trevor pops one by his brother.
We talked about that extra gear. Taylor shifted into it in this second set. He's really picked up his game. 2017 seems like a big lead. It's not in this kind of pressure-packed situation.
Now Jake Gibb will serve it. The second set point for the receiving team. Rosenthal and Gibb. This could be it right here. Rosie. Tapping, yes! And set number 2 is in the books for the other guys. It's Sean Rosenthal and Trevor Crab. And they play a fantastic set and win 21-17. So a split decision so far. Rosenthal and Crab end that set on a 4-1 scoring run. We will continue. The coin flip, the third and final set. Gibb, Crabb, Rosenthal, Crabb. More after this. In 1988, 1 year before Trevor Crab was born, 3 years prior to Taylor Crab, this was the scene at Hermosa Beach. And yes, it was a happening in the heyday of beach volleyball, but the heyday is back, folks. You look at the the scenic setting, the packed capacity crowds. Yeah, AVP alive and well and very healthy. I'm Chris Marlowe with Kevin Wong and Dane Blanton. Our final has lived up to expectations. Jake Gibb, Taylor Crab won the first set. Trevor Crab and Sean Rosenthal set number 2.
Capacity crowds for 3 days. It's been unbelievable.
All right, let's check in with Dane Blanton.
Thanks a lot, Chris, here with Sean Rosenthal and Trevor Crab. A complete turnaround. What was the difference? Was it the serving line?
Well, I think we were playing pretty solid early in the first, and then we had a little 3-point run that gave them some momentum, and they rolled with it. We kind of made a few mistakes, and we just cleaned everything up and kept strong and kept on them in that game and didn't really let them off the hook.
Trevor, a lot going on coming into this week in terms of some trash talking. Now what's it take? You're 15 points away from bringing home your first victory. You tell me this would be sweet against your brother. What needs to happen here in this final set?
Confidence, that's the key. I mean, playing together and confidence, those are the two main things for us. And finish, just finish the game, that's all.
There you have it. They got to finish, Chris.
All right, thanks, Dane. Kevin, strategy in a 15-point third set as opposed to a 1-21.
Start becomes even more important. I think you got to get focused real quick. You want to make sure you go to Taylor Crab if you're that squad. And then I think the most key number for Gibb, for Rosenthal and Crab, is going to be unforced errors. How many hitting errors? If they can minimize that, service errors, hitting errors, not put themselves out of this game.
3-set matches this year. Trevor and Rosenthal are 3-3. Taylor and Gibb are 1-0. Taylor and Gibb have not lost a set in the tournament until that last one. Their first set loss. So here we go. Crowd is alive here in Hermosa Beach as the first serve underway. Third set. Trevor Crab trying to tap it. Gibb was there. Gibb is 6'8", and rolling into the corner was Trevor.
And from the tone of that first play, Trevor controlling the fire,
yes,
right? Controlling the rage, making smart shots. And at the end of the day, how do you take all that fire and channel it? And that was a good...
He's burning like the runaway train inside, trying to control it. Now, Rosenthal cross court. Taylor's tight. They joust at the net, and Taylor wins it. And then a little attitude right at the end of that.
If there's one play more than any that is a confrontation, it's the joust, right? Both players at the same time, and the last push, the one that matters. The younger, smaller, shorter Taylor Crab winning it.
Surprised we didn't see a flex down after that one. Sometimes you do. 1-1, and the ace off the trickler by Jake Gibb. Hitting the net, going right over. And a point, so make it 2-1. By the way, when we do get to championship point, there will be a freeze on rally scoring. It will convert to side-out scoring, old-time scoring. But we'll deal with that in a little while. Trevor down the line, popped up! Rosenthal with the tapper. Rosie's Raiders still have hope, Kevin Wong.
Just the composure. Talking about the confidence, Trevor talked about it in the break with Dane. Talking to me before the match, he felt unstoppable. There are only so many weekends where you have all the magic working and all the mojo going. This is the weekend. You get that feeling.
In the soft sand of Hermosa Beach. Here we go. Trevor Crab will serve at 2-2, third and final set. Off speed and a great call by Jake Gibb. Angle, angle, angle. That'll usually click in.
And the vision, right? That's what sets apart Taylor Crab from so many young players, is his ability to control the ball, but also to see where he wants to put it. Makes it look so easy.
So a side change. We think Rosenthal and Trevor Crab have gone over to the good side. A little bit of wind in their face. Change on multiples of 5. Great serve, Rosenthal, long run! And it's going to be an ace for Taylor Crab. There were 2 contacts, but I consider that an ace. A great serve.
Yeah,
going
Crab
wide.
and Gibb have come out in this third set, and they've been bombing serves. We saw the trickler earlier from Jake. Jake actually hit one down the line that was really tough. They've really ramped up here in the third.
Yeah, so a couple of aces already. Now Taylor, once again, wearing the kinesiology tape on his right shoulder as he splats that one out of bounds. Kinesiology tape for the stabilization of the shoulder, although he's got a whip. Not sure exactly why he's wearing it, but doesn't seem to be any issue with his shoulder. Hitting it harder than Kevin Wong ever did, and he didn't wear the tape. 4-3. That's a good serve. Taylor goes and gets it. Off speed, blocked. Gibb down the hatch. Seems like a while that we've seen Jake Gibb take a swing at one, Kev.
Yeah, and not with as much power, not with as much heat. That might have been an opportunity for Trevor Crab to drop off the net. They also did not like the set release from Taylor. A little bit sticky, a little bit funky.
Gibb, 3-time Olympian. Former partner Sean Rosenthal, 2-time Olympian. And we have some youngsters here that want to be Olympians in the future as that ball whacked out of bounds.
And there's the first error from Team Crab. Rosenthal, that hit out of bounds.
Would you consider that an unforced error? You mentioned that?
Yeah, for sure, right? It doesn't, you're not making the other team make a play. Just handing them points.
4-1 scoring run. Trevor. Blocked. Gibb scoops it out. Off speed. Diving save. Hook shot. Yes! Rosenthal with a saver.
Trevor Crab, maybe the better play on that. The dig, laying it out. I'm telling you, I would split block right now. Trev's in a really confident spot, has a really good bead on Taylor, who you want to serve anyway.
Hey, a reminder coming up after our match today, you can see the women's final from Hermosa Beach, avp.com/live. Brittany Hochaver and her partner Emily Day will take on Gina Urango and Angela Benson. Yeah, Benny is in the final. You won't want to miss that. Well, we're getting down to it, folks. Third set, it's 6-4. Trevor Crab will serve it. He's wearing the kinesiology tape also on his shoulder. Flies it to Gibb. And Gibb hits it straight down.
That's a mistake, right? They've been scoring points off of Taylor. They've been getting him in some trouble.
Yep.
Jake Gibb just walks like he's going through a garden with flowers all over the place. That was about as calm and smooth and confident a swing as you're going to see in a third set of a final here at Hermosa.
Tiptoeing through the tulips. 7-4. Now Trevor on a good set. And inside, nice shot. Maybe even better set by Rosenthal.
Off of a blast of a serve, right? They don't serve Taylor. All of a sudden, he's got some confidence and he can just relax and go back and bomb. This is a must serve to Taylor Crab. And I think if you're defending, if you're Sean Rosenthal, you got to think shot. You got to think the off-speed stuff.
Taylor has the cut. He's also got the little looper over the top. Rosenthal cross court, no, just wide. So taking a chance, it costs him a point. Make it 8-5. Going to 15 for the championship here in Hermosa Beach. The second longest tournament that is still in existence, Kevin, despite the fact that the AVP has not played here since 2010 as Rosenthal puts it away.
Yeah, you talk about 53 years here at Hermosa, 60 years over up the street at Manhattan Beach. I always like the contrast, right? Manhattan Beach, a little bit more like Wimbledon, white collar, everyone with the golf clap. Hermosa, this is like the Coliseum, the gladiators. This is a different vibe.
2-point lead for Gibb. Doug. And Trevor Crab is into the net. And a side change. Jake Gibb, the veteran, playing with Taylor Crab, the 25-year-old. And they have the upper hand right now, leading 9-6. Taylor had an ace from this position earlier. Off speed, nice shot. Trevor goes up top.
They've been doing it offensively here. They've been fighting off some tough serves. The team D, now all of a sudden you got to go back and how do you score a point against this offense that's been rolling? Wind in your face. Rosie just missed the last one. I think you still got to grip it and rip it, right? And if you can, try to get it on Taylor.
You want to go cross court, into the wind. Nope, down the line to Gibb. It's tight, it's trouble. Oh, and firing it through. Somebody Taylor Crab.
Somebody net. I don't know if it was Trevor. I don't know if it was Taylor on the follow through. Ref didn't see it.
I think Kevin thought he saw a putty tat. No net.
There's the putty tat. His name is Trevor.
10-7. Trevor is snapping it down quickly. No time running out for Trevor Crab and Sean Rosenthal in the blue trunks. They have to figure a way to get some points here. They're on the good side. They need 2 here.
Yeah, you really, you need to get to 9-11, but you'd really like to get to 10-10 if possible.
Want to score 3 or 4 at least on the good side. Try to limit the damage on the bad side. Here comes Gibb. And down the line, out of bounds. Ooh, the plot thickens.
Right? You've got one of the most resilient guys on tour. 3-time Olympian, he's won 34 championships. And this shows you what kind of pressure there is in this situation.
9 serving 10. You go back to Gibb, you got to, don't you?
I think you just hit it hard, either guy.
Pretty good serve. Off speed, Rosenthal's got it. Chance to tie. Not yet.
Wow.
Free ball coming. Trevor Crab, Rosenthal on the run. And Rosie Raiders go crazy. We're tied up at 10. third tie of this set. First since 2-2. Three in a row.
Great defense both ways, and at the end of this play, you see the dig here from Rosenthal. Another spectacular play on the other side, Taylor Crab, and then Rosenthal calls his own number, right? Instead of setting the young guy, says, it's been 3 years since I've won on my home turf. I'm gonna lead the way.
Two-time Olympic veteran, you can see his eyes light up now, 10-10 in a set to 15. Taylor, nobody up, and the put away. So I wonder, a little confusion for Rosenthal with Crabb. Gibb dug that out. That set was pretty close to the net.
Once again, Rosenthal doing the right thing, right? He's over on the corner, he's slowing some things down, getting regrouped, putting a little more ice pressure on Taylor Crab back at the service line.
11-10, Gibb Crabb. If this works out the way it's supposed to, Rosenthal and Crabb will end up on the good side late in this set. I don't know if that'll be a factor, we'll see. Rosenthal, and Rosenthal, hammer time!
You know, I thought this team was going to win last weekend in San Francisco. They've been really peaking. They've been getting better and better over the course of the year. But you can almost see this extra oomph from Sean Rosenthal. This is his home beach, right? 8 little mini blocks up the street is where he grew up as a man, as a beach volleyball player.
Trying to get the W. 11-all. Taylor Crab down the line. Got it. Just giving him too much line there. If you've got your digger in the angle, you have to take some of that line, force him out there. So a 1-point lead at 12-11.
And remember, the freeze is coming and could play a major factor here.
The freeze will come at championship point for either team. Nice set. And the rejection! Jacob Gibb was there.
And all day long, they've been using the motion offense. They've been running Jake to the right, and he's been late. And this time you see him beat it to the spot, make the big cross-court move. One of the hardest working players on tour, one of the smartest players on tour, Jake Gibb.
13-11 now, second block for Gibb. Crab tapping, his brother is there. Taylor Crab. Off speed, yes. As sweet as it gets. So we have come to championship point, and the freeze is on. You now have to serve to score a point. Remember, we play rally scoring. Now it is side out for both teams. If there's a let serve, the first, it will be a replay. So Taylor and Gibb get a 3-0 run here late. The only good news for Rosenthal and Crabb is that they're going to the good side.
And the freeze is on,
yes.
Right? So they've got time. We've seen some amazing comebacks throughout the season. We've seen 9-14, we've seen 10-14. So 11-14 going to the good side, not beyond the realm of possibility. And a little chance. We've seen them do really good things coming out of breaks like this. They've been able to compose themselves, get some time with Jeff Alzina on the bench, and get some game plan.
The scene here at Hermosa Beach. Boy, are we back, glad to be back in this wonderful city. We worked out a deal with Hermosa Beach, and I'm hoping this is the start of a long and beautiful friendship.
On the other side, you see Marcio Ciccoli, gold medal winning coach, working his squad. And for Taylor Crab, you know, we talked about he's only won 1 championship. And when you start getting to stack them on, it is the best to win in bunches, right? If you have big separations between wins, it's really hard to move up the board. But if you get on a roll, get some momentum, this is a chance for them to do exactly that.
So the two brothers have been battling all day. See the percentages, the digs. Trevor with a block and an ace. Been a great battle. The brothers and the ex-partners. Now here we go. The first match point. Once again, just a reminder, a new rule the AVP put in last fall. You have to serve to score a point to win the championship. Jake Gibb. Popped up. Trouble here. Gibb for the win, and it is over. Taylor Crab, Jake Gibb win here in Hermosa Beach. A 3-set thriller. A nice finish for Trevor Crab and Sean Rosenthal. And the celebration is on. Jake Gibb hugs his former partner, and he is stoked. A little bubbly to celebrate. We'll come back. We'll talk to the winners. Jake Gibb, yeah, the three-time Olympian, and his partner Taylor Crab. Get it done.
For his partner Taylor Crab, that's win number 2. We'll join Olympic gold medalist Danny record for the Relive Live to close out the broadcast on NBC Sports. And then we've got some incredible handmade trophies to present the winners.
I'm sweaty, huh? She's wiping it off.
A champagne celebration today at Hermosa Beach for Jake Gibb and Taylor Crab. They win in 3 sets, 15-11. Let's take a look at our Smarty Pants dig of the day. Boy, there were some great digs in this championship final.
Not one, but
3.
two digs, and on the third one,
out of bounds.
Can't get this ball down.
Our Smarty Pants dig of the day going to Taylor Crab. All right, Gibb and Crab, they are the champs. Let's go down to Dane Blanton. Dane.
All right, thanks a lot here with the champs, and wow, was that something special. 35th career win, Jake Gibb, you turned it around. What was the difference there down the stretch?
Taylor just sided out like a champ. I mean, he was a stud. He acts like he's been here longer than I have. I think I was the one that had most of the nerves. He's so calm, cool, collected that he's easy to play with.
You won just a few weeks ago in New York. Now you've won on both coasts, but this had to be a little more special. It was against your brother. You held him to no finals so far, no wins for your brother. How sweet was that? Especially, there was some trash being talked this week.
Yeah, we got a little bit on social media, but that's all fun and games. We talked before the match, and we're focused on us mostly. I wanted to get my second win with Jake, and most importantly, his 50th win. I don't know what he's got. He's got too many.
It's 35 to be exact. You guys really turned it around, showed that you were the best team. The World Championships, are you there next week?
Yep, we take off tomorrow for World Champs, so we got a big week of preparation ahead. We're excited. We know our pool already, and we'll be ready.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah, I can't wait. I just want to say a special thank you to all the fans here. They were great all weekend, our sponsors. Amazing job by everyone. Thank you.
All right, the biggest rivalry on the beach, the Crabs going against one another. Let's go back up to Chris and Kevin.
Beautiful day for Jake and Taylor. Taylor, perhaps the best young player in America, playing with a three-time Olympian. They get the championship. We're coming back. We're going to wrap it up from Hermosa Beach. Coming up, stay with us. The 2017 Hermosa Beach Open has been brought to you by Rocks, serious gear for hardcore competition. The 2017 Hermosa Beach Open has been brought to you by Rocks, serious gear for hardcore competition, and by Obrigado, 100% premium coconut water that aces it with 100% fresh coconut water taste. A reminder, the action doesn't need to stop here. Coming up after this telecast, the women's final here from Hermosa Beach, avp.com/live. Kevin Wong, your thoughts on a beautiful week in Hermosa Beach?
It's not often that matches that are so hyped live up to the prestige, and this one did. All four players played so good, and my lens kind of goes towards the Crabs. I've known them since little kids. You saw Taylor's joy, you saw Trevor's pain, and the parents got what they wanted, a three-setter. They got great sportsmanship, high-level play.
Coach Haber, Day, Urango, and Benson are coming up next. Hope you enjoy the action for Dane Blanton and Kevin Wong. The beach is now officially closed for a moment.